your thoughts don't define who you are. I feel like that's one of the realizations that are harder to digest. At least it was in my case. The realization that there's a strong separation between your thoughts and who you are as a person. Because I feel like our thoughts are nothing more than just a mere reflection of our subconscious perception of the world that we live in, which we have no control over. And I don't believe that should necessarily define who we are, because we don't have control over it. However, I feel like what we decide to filter out from that and feed into from that and act upon is what defines us. There's two ways we can think about it. Think about the relationship that we have with our thoughts. If we take us and our thoughts as two different entities, the first way to think about it is we are our thoughts, which makes these two entities into one. You are your thoughts, right? However, the second way to think about it is you are aware of your thoughts, which still keeps you and your thoughts as two different entities, but you're just aware of your thoughts. I feel like that gives you more power to control who you are as a person, because it doesn't necessarily define, your thoughts don't necessarily define you in that case. I feel like the more you feed into the reality that you are your thoughts, turns out to make your reality your thoughts, or your thoughts your reality. And it works the other way around as well. The more you feed into the reality that you're just aware of your thoughts, makes you and your thoughts two different entities, but you're just aware of the thoughts. And I came to this realization during one of my routine meditation sessions. And I don't want to get into meditation in this video, but if I were to cover that quickly, the easiest way to meditate, as I see it, because it might differ from person to person, the way I see it, the easiest way to meditate is to focus. And you can do that two ways. You can focus inwards or outwards. To focus inwards, the ways I use is just either breath work, which is you focus on inhaling and focus on what you feel when you inhale, focus on exhaling and focus on what you feel when you exhale, or I focus on my heartbeat. If you were to meditate by focusing outwards, you can just pick an object or just pick a point somewhere and have a deep gaze at it. That's the easy part. That's not meditation. I feel like the actual meditation part is what comes next, because, and that's somewhere most of the people get it wrong, in my opinion. During this meditation process, we get distracted. It's inevitable that we get distracted. A lot of different thoughts are going to come into our head at some point during the meditation session. And I used to meditate in a way, when I get distracted, I just jump right back into the meditation of focusing on my breath work or focusing on my heartbeat or whatever it is. And recently I decided to change that. When I found myself getting distracted, I started looking at myself at a third-person perspective, observing all these thoughts that are coming in and passing by, and seeing if I engage with them and seeing if I feed into them, which gave me a sense of vision and control of my thoughts. See, when you meditate and you get distracted, you have a chance, you get to realize what you think about, or what kind of thoughts that come into your head, and what kind of thoughts you engage with and act upon. And the more you have control over that process, I feel like the more you have control over the person that you are. Because if you let merely the thoughts that you have control the person that you are, I feel like there's a higher chance that you lose yourself to whatever's happening around the world. Because as a person, I feel like I encounter a lot of negativity in my day-to-day life, and most of people do. And if I were to think in a way that my thoughts are thoughts which are affected by this, the perception of the negativity in our day-to-day lives, define who I am, then I become a negative person. But since I look at it in a way that I am just aware of my thoughts, which could be negative, I get a chance to decide whether I feed into those negative thoughts, whether I act upon those negative thoughts. And I feel like this choice that I make between choosing to feed into them and not choosing to feed into them, or deciding to act on them or not deciding to act on them, is what defines who I am as a person. And when you think about it that way, I know it's easy to think about it that way, but it's really hard to digest it and really apply it into your life, because I struggled at it for a while now. And I feel like it's just this duality of thoughts we have that gives us the power to say that our thoughts don't necessarily define who we are as a person. Yeah, so if you watched it this far, thank you, and I hope I helped you by making this video. But yeah, finally I just wanted to say, my final message is, don't think in a way that you are your thoughts, but you just think in a way that you are aware of your thoughts. That gives you a sense of control of what kind of thoughts you let define who you are as a person.